Welcome back to This Week at ISU. I'm your host, Owen Pulley. This week we have the Polar Plunge, Leadershop Sessions, and more. This Week at ISU starts right now. The annual Polar Plunge took place for the Special Olympics. Participants took a leap into freezing water during the cold temperatures of February to raise money for athletes with disabilities. Over 19,000 athletes in Indiana will be supported by events like this. Let's hear more about this fundraiser.
Today was a Polar Plunge. We raised money for Special Olympics Indiana. It happens every spring across the state of Indiana. Today we raised over $20,000 just today brought in, and we also have a website online that people can donate to, which is also raising money. Okay. The Special Olympics Indiana was founded and brought to the state of Indiana by two of ISU professors. Judy Campbell was one of them. That's why we had a Judy Campbell Award. And so ever since then we have summer games and we have other events here because it is part of ISU. It started here many years ago. We usually have a tip-a-cop. We had one a week ago. Texas Roadhouse police officers come from all different agencies in Terre Haute in Vigo County, and we raise money for Special Olympics. We're part of Law Enforcement Torch Run, which is statewide of Indiana, across the nation, around the world as well. And the money that we raise is actually money that comes that let the students and the athletes come to campus in the summer for summer games. Last year, the Polar Plunge in Indiana raised $1.1 million.
Grocery Bingo is hosted by Student Government Association for students to have fun and win prizes. Students gathered in the Commons for a friendly game of bingo to win gift cards for Walmart, dorm essentials, and cleaning supplies. The American Marketing Association held the Pizza Brand Blitz. This event pitted Papa John's and Domino's Pizza against each other, comparing branding, marketing strategies, and customer appeal. Attendees enjoyed free pizza and the insights of marketing. There was another leadership session called Leading with Authenticity featuring Jackson Zeiss, held by the Office of Student Engagement, Leadership, and Fraternity and Sorority Life. Zeiss discussed valuable leadership insights, a guide to connecting with other student leaders, and exploring authenticity while in a leadership position. Osher Lifelong Learning Experience had poetry and the public in the Memorial Library Event Center with Dr. Amy Ash. The award-winning poet discussed multimedia collaborations she has been involved with and how poetry is rooted in our everyday lives. Dr. Ash included a poetry reading to the audience. Sunshine and Stones was hosted by New Sycamore Orientation and Student African American Sisterhood. This event was a perfect way for students to de-stress and get crafty. There was rock painting, trivia, prizes, and suncatcher making. Those who attended could learn more about being an orientation leader or a welcome team member.
This event here today is a collaboration between SOS and NSO. It's basically to represent a little bit of both sides of Indiana State University. So from my aspect, I wanted more black students to be more involved as like an orientation leader because that's what we're hiring for. I also wanted to touch a little bit into black history, and that's why we had the scavenger hunt listed. We had a trivia night also listed as well, and as part of the activities here.
So events like this are important just so that we can give them knowledge on the things that are happening on campus, because we were doing history about the campus, we were doing history about the AACC, we were doing history about both of our orgs. So just to inform everybody about what we're here to do, and why we are important to just pay attention to, why it's important to just show up for our student orgs, because it's just important. And it's Black History Month, so we just wanted to tell everybody, what we stand for and hopefully get them on board.
I also like to emphasize that we want to create interpersonal relationships too. A lot of the people that I work with in SOS were actually people that I already knew from other organizations, but there were some people I met, like Kasey, who is one of the leaders in SOS, that I didn't know before, but now because of this organization, I now have that relationship with her, and in the future, we can continue creating more events together. So for New Sycamore Orientation, we have an event coming up. The day is still to be continued. We're still trying to figure that out. But we are planning on having in the Career Center. It's going to be like a pizza night. It's going to be really chill. We're going to help students with the orientation leader application, and if they have any other questions, and also just get to know the other coordinators better.
And for SOS, our upcoming event is the Small Business Showcase with Women in Business, and we will be in SCOB, the Scott College of Business, and we'll just be telling everybody about their businesses, telling them what we have going on campus, and that's March 25th from 11 to 4.
Now let's take a look at Indiana State info and what opportunities the campus has to offer. here's Allyson Lozano with Health Minute.
Hey Sycamores, welcome back to Health Minute. I'm Allyson Lozano. This week, we're discussing how to protect yourself from STDs. First and foremost, the best way to prevent STDs is to practice safe sex. Be sure to use condoms properly and consistently. Research the best type for you and be sure to discuss condom use with your partner. Next, keep open communication with each sexual partner. Be sure to know their sexual history and be aware if there's any risk of being exposed to STDs. If your partner does test positive, know that there are ways to reduce the risk of transmission, such as condom use and medication. Lastly, be sure to get tested regularly. Even if you had safe sex and don't show symptoms, it is still possible that you have been exposed to an STD. Look for the nearest clinic or check out testing options at ISU. Thank you for joining us, and check back next week for more healthy tips and tricks. Back to the studio.
Now over to Lennon Connor with the weather.
Thanks. Well, Sycamores, I have some really good news. This next coming week will be full of warm weather after this last chilly one. It'll be cloudy and sunny with a range of low 50s to high 20s. Well, that's all. Back to the studio.
Let's check out CJ Cooper for sports.
Welcome to Sports Corner. I'm your host, CJ Cooper. Sycamore Sports Spotlight. Big time buckets, blocks, and blowouts. Women's hoops thriller. Bella Finnegan was on fire, racking up a game-high 15 points, but Indiana State fell just short in a 56-54 heartstopper against Bradley. Savannah White nearly pulled off a double-double and swatted 5 blocks, proving why she's one of the MVC's top shot blockers. The Sycamores' 19 fast break points were the most they've scored all season. Pure hustle. Men's basketball. Till takes over. Samaj Till went full NBA jam mode, dropping 36 points, a career high, and the highest Sycamore scoring performance in nearly 2 decades. He splashed 6 threes and powered Indiana State to an 85-76 dub over Illinois State. This dude is on a heater. Baseball. Call it a slugfest, a fireworks show, or just absolute dominance. Indiana State's bats went nuclear with a 20-run third inning. Yes, you heard that right. The Sycamores plummeled Wagner 36-6 behind bombs from Nick Sutherland and Carlos Pena. When was the last time you saw 21 straight batters reach base? Unreal. Up next, Indiana State's women's hoops hit the road for a 4-game stretch, starting with UIC this Friday at noon. The men look to build momentum, and baseball, well, they might need extra scoreboards at this rate. Man, they look good. Sycamore Nation, stand up. Please support our athletes this winter. See you next week. Back to the studio.
That's all the time we have this week. If you would like to get involved with Sycamore Video, or if you have any events that you would like for us to cover, send us an email at isu-sycamorevideo@indstate.edu. Check us out on our Facebook page at Sycamore Video-ISU Student Media or Sycamore Video on YouTube. See you next week, Sycamores.